So we're going to read this story. Let's have a look at the front page, okay, which is right here, eyes on the screen. And we will be focusing on listening rather than speaking, because when we have that tendency to respond quickly and, stay alert that I want to answer in the class, the part of the brain that is actually involved in listening and processing doesn't work that well. So everybody, I request you to listen. I am absolutely fine if you don't answer in the class, because at the end, when it's going to be your turn to answer, I will be able to assess who has understood and who has not. So right now, eyes glued on the screen, and if there's anything that you want to write down, you can write it down. Okay. So this is the front cover of the book. Okay, this is exactly how the book looks on the shelf if you visit a bookstore. So the title of the story says Heartwood Hotel, and there's another title below that, which is A True Home. Now, why would now this is something that you have to unmute and answer. Why do you think there are two titles? But I will ask Shamoil. Shamoil, why do you think I see two headings there? The first one is Heartwood Hotel and the other one is A True Home.
Ma'am, like maybe there must be different books of the same series, like the Heartwood Hotel. There must be A True Home, and then maybe
there would be different stories of the same book title. Correct?
Yeah, like different A True Home, or maybe like
there would be something else like an
something
for it. But by the same series, Heartwood Hotel. Okay, there's something else, children, that we need to focus on, that if you are involved in creative writing, we have to focus a lot on figurative speech. I'm sure you are familiar with figurative speech, figurative language by now, which means alliteration and then, simile, metaphor, etc. Right now, the author here, who is the author? Anvika. Who is the author of this book? Okay.
This book's author is Kelly George.
Okay. Now, if there is illustration not mentioned, for example, illustrator is not mentioned, or the word illustrated is not mentioned, we go as per the order. Like the first name is going to be the author and the second one is going to be the illustrator. Got it? Now, Kelly George is quite an interesting author, because he has made sure that his title is allitered. Do you agree or not? Give me a thumbs up. This series is allitered. Now, Kridan is going to tell
the meaning of allitered?
Yes, Kridan is going to answer what does alliteration mean. Alliteration mean?
I don't know.
Okay, we want to give... Anahita, do you know what's an alliteration? Alliteration?
Alphabet for two words.
So when we have repetition of sounds in a group of words, it's known as alliteration. The spelling may or may not be same. For example, S also sounds as sir and C also sounds as sir, right? We know that, like citing, although the spelling is C-I-T-E. I'm going to write and show it to you. So here, when we focus on the heading, it says Heartwood Hotel. The sound is same. Both the words are starting with the same sound, that is her. So it is allitered. So whenever you are, choosing a specific title for your story or your paragraph, even if it is fiction or non-fiction, try to make it like this, in the allitered form. Also, if we are familiar with Peppa Pig, the characters are also allitered, children. Now, you, like, one by one, you can go, like Peppa Pig, Susie Sheep. There's sir and there is sure, but it's quite close to the same sound. And then we have Danny Dog, d. And then we have Emily Elephant. Shows that I have watched a lot of Peppa Pig along with you, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So now let's get back to the story. Now we have to see, before we buy a book, before we choose the right book from the bookstore, it is important that we have already fallen in love with the book. Only then we should go and pay, right? We should not just buy the book and keep it on the shelf. So if we have a look at the illustration here of the book page, it looks like a nighttime. There is a mouse. Okay, sorry. Someone has not joined the meeting, and that's the reason I'm getting the call. Okay. Yeah. Give me a second, children. Okay, sorry. So it's nighttime. There's a mouse there. She's holding a bag. She is already dressed in her night suit. And this looks like maple tree to me, maybe a different version of the tree. Agree? Yes? Now, children, as per the title, can you tell me which genre it is?
Fiction.
Yes, Anahita. Yes, Anay, correct. Yes, Anay. Non-fiction, किसने बोला?
Fiction.
Yeah, it is fiction. Okay, it's fiction because we see the character dressed in, like, have you ever seen a mouse dressed in a night suit in real life?
No.
No. So it's a never.
No. Adventure fiction.
Yeah, that we can definitely categorize into realistic fiction or a make-believe or other sort of, fantasy or other special category of fiction stories. Okay. Now, a fiction as well as non-fiction books, both these categories are going to have content section in it. Okay, it's very important. We're doing part of a fiction story, so it is very, very important. Now go through the content page, and I am figuring out how to take the children inside. Host is me, host is here. Participants, yes, now I could figure it out. See, I'm so bad with technology. Okay, I'm so sorry, Reyansh and Naisha. I was actually not getting the window to admit you guys, okay? So we have just started with the story here.
Auntie,
Yes?
right now I have this book.
No talking anything except what we are discussing in the class today. Got it? Chal. I see that here. I am so sorry. It's not going to happen in the next class. So content section has how many chapters, children? Reyansh, how many chapters in the content section?
Ma'am, 16.
Okay. Now, Reyansh, since you have joined late and Naisha, you've joined late, my apologies. Can you tell me, after having a look at the content, the name of the chapters, which genre the book is? Like, is it fiction or non-fiction category? It's just not the title of the page that can help us to, understand if it's a fiction or non-fiction category. Even the content section helps you to find that out. Samaira, eyes on the screen. Have a look at the content page. Everybody. What do you think? Is it, yes, Reyansh?
I think it's a fiction.
It's friction or it's fiction?
Fiction.
It's okay, that happens. So you have to even give me, you have to validate your answer. You have to support your answer. How do you think it's a fiction story? What made you feel that?
Ma'am, On the content page, there are chapters like the Mona, the Mouse, the Acorn Festival, Trouble with Tilly. So, the names are telling that it's a fiction.
Agree. Correct, correct. Now we had discussed children, we had discussed alliteration. So I want you to further look deep in each of the titles that's mentioned here. I hope everyone is following because I can't see all the children on the screen. Yes. Give me a thumbs up if you are following. Everybody. Now, now I'm going to tell Master V, who is Master V today. I can see that smile. Now, have a look at the content name, like the chapter names, like Mona the Mouse. Again, it is allitered. Same sound, MM. And I know it is boring because you are aware of this. So I want you to give me at least 2 chapter names that has been allitered. Hurry up.
Being brave, the Heartwood hoax.
Okay. Next is Ayantika. Ayantika, can you give me another chapter's name that has been allitered? Quick, quick.
Ma'am, next can I tell?
Yes. Mona the Mouse. Okay. Master V, since you raised your hand,
Yes, ma'am.
hurry up, hurry up.
Ma'am, the Woodpecker's Warning.
Woodpecker's warning. Absolutely correct. Anvika.
Tilly tells the truth.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Now, Ekam, since you had not understood this, can you give a try and tell me any one chapter?
I understood.
Now tell me.
The Wicked Witch.
Okay. Brumble the bear. Now, I'm sure this text looks exciting to you and we are quickly getting into the first chapter. Okay? Now, first chapter, this is the most simplest form of storybook. Okay? This is a book that a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old should read, which means that the text would be very, very simple. Let me erase all my notes here as I had used it to explain it to someone. Now, through the text, children, you will be surprised that I'm going to teach you grammar. Okay? Now I am reading. You have a look at on the screen. If you have the book, you can just go through the book. And if you want to buy this book, I'll definitely tell you that this series is a must to be in your house. It's quite famous. It's quite famous throughout the world, loved by children, and it's one of the best sellers. Okay? For fiction category in the age group, say 7 to 5. Okay?
Ma'am, the name of the book was Hartwood House, no?
Hartwood Hotel. Okay? Now I am reading, children, and I'll be asking a lot of questions, so stay alert. Mona the Mouse. Home is where the heart is, or so she had heard. Now, when we see had heard, apostrophe, it can either be she had, she would, and there is one more thing. Can someone tell me? This is contraction, right? This is contraction, apostrophe ed. Anay, can you tell me? Yes. Shamoil, was that you?
Ma'am, she would. She would.
मैंने बता दिया है would.
Ma'am, she did. She had.
She had.
Ma'am,
I have
she
written.
is.
She?
Is.
No, but apostrophe D लगा हुआ है, तो is नहीं होगा यहाँ
Ma'am,
पे.
she did. She
Should
did.
be. Should be आ सकता है. Since there is apostrophe D, these are the 3 auxiliary verbs that can go along with this. Home
Ma'am,
is
why can't D? Did.
Did can be there, apostrophe D. She, but since Anvika, यहाँ पर जो heard है ना, the verb form is in past tense, right? So if I write did is never, a verb is never a past tense if they have a did before that. Did here हो जाता था. Did you get that concept? We never have past tense after did. So यहाँ पे did नहीं होगा. Home is where the heart is. So she had, or so she had heard. यहाँ पे had is the correct form. She would, she should is not going to work. Did you get it, children? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But Mona the Mouse had never had a home. At least not for long. A dusty bale, an abandoned bird's nest, a prickly thicket. In her short life, she had lived in more places than she had whiskers. So suppose if she has around 8 whiskers, she has lived in more than 8 places. Now, the reason why I am taking this particular text is how to read an unfamiliar text. Okay? How to read a text where you don't understand things. So today I'm going to give you a logic. Okay? So the first thing here is, as soon as you start seeing a lot of words, you just get lost. अरे अब क्या हो रहा है? I don't understand. इसके बाद क्या हो रहा है? So I am sure from the second line you have lost track of what I was reading. A dusty hay bale, an abandoned bird's nest, a prickly thicket. In her short life, she had lived in more places than she had whiskers. My first question to you is, what do you mean by these things that I have underlined? What would be it?
Ma'am, I have a doubt. The different homes.
Just different homes, correct. Ayantika, do you want to add something to it?
No, the same answer. She has been
Good.
in so many different homes, so she's giving examples of some.
Okay, great. My next question, Ekam, I'll take. Yes, Ekam. What's your question? What is your doubt? I can't hear you.
What is a prickly thicket?
That's what I'm going to get back to you. Now see, when we have a dusty hay bale, we have to identify इसमें एक noun होगा and there's going to be adjectives. Now if I say, have a look here, a beautiful girl. I'm writing in running handwriting, okay? Please excuse my handwriting. Everybody sit. Kridan, sit. When I write a beautiful girl, Anahita, can you tell me what's the noun here?
Girl.
And what's an adjective?
Beautiful.
Okay. Now I'm writing something else. Question goes to Ekam. A good and beautiful girl. What's the noun over here, Ekam?
Girl.
And what would be the adjective or adjective?
Beautiful.
Okay. Next question is for Naisha. Okay. Now just have a look at how these sentences are arranged. It is very important for you to follow it now. Okay. Now, my sentence is a wise, old, and ambitious man. Okay? Naisha, unmute. Now tell me, what is a noun over here, Naisha?
Man.
And what would be the other part of speech here? Verb hai. Do you see a verb here?
An adjective.
How many adjectives, or is there any one?
Three.
3 adjectives. Okay, good. Okay, next is Kian. Kian, what you wanted to add over here?
I just wanted to say the answer.
Okay, now have a look at the arrangement of the words, children. I have written 3 phrases over here. I've written a good and beautiful girl, okay, which has two adjectives. So it is separated by and. Okay, a beautiful girl, it has just 1 adjective. And now I have written a phrase which has 3 adjectives. So definitely there is a comma in it. A wise, old and ambitious man. Now when I read this, now have a look at this one. I'm just going to change the color of my pen. A dusty hay bale. Dusty hay bale. Question goes to Shivansh. Dusty hay bale. Okay, Kian wants to answer. Kian, listen to my question. Everybody stay attentive. Shivansh, iske baad aapka chance. A dusty hay bale mein how many nouns and how many adjectives do you see?
And for the adjective, it could be dusty.
Okay, great. And now?
A noun could be hay bale.
Excellent. So noun is hay bale, and we have described that dusty is an adjective. Now, agar hum, when we are reading the story in exam and we don't know the meaning of hay bale, definitely we can now understand that it is a noun. And if you know that hay is dry grass, then you can somehow guess that hay bale would be something related to dry grass, bunch of dry grass, or the other things. And how it is, it's dusty. It is describing. So dusty hay bale. Next is an abandoned bird's nest. Shivansh.
Yes, ma'am.
Noun क्या है? Adjective क्या है?
Abounded is the adjective and bird's nest is the noun.
Perfect. Now, when we have not understood what these things are, unlike the other students who have answered that these are the places where Mona has lived, got it? Now we know that noun is a name of a place, animal, or thing. We know that hay bale can be bunch of dry grass like this, which is quite dusty. Abandoned bird's nest would be a bird's nest which is empty. No more, there is no more an egg or chicks inside. Abandoned में एक और चीज है which I want you to focus. It has ed. It has ed. Now the confusion here, it would be that when we see a word ending with ed, ing, I have taught you that it's going to be a verb, isn't it? If there is a word ending with ed, it's a verb. Agree or disagree? Children?
Agree.
But here, it is acting as an adjective. So there would be a lot of times where the rule would not work. Got it, children? Abandoned is an adjective over here. Now, a prickly thicket. Now, let's get back to prickly thicket, which Ekam has not understood. Now, we can closely guess the word prickly thicket. Kya hota hai? Prickly means what, Anahita? Prickly? Prickly would mean what? Sharp. Like, yes, Kian?
And ticklish.
Ticklish, yeah, great. Prickly is something like a thorn, sharp objects, pointed objects. Got it? Thicket, I don't know what is it. But I can associate thicket with a blanket. Because when we are actually attempting a paper in an exam, we don't have Google to look for the answer, and we don't even have a dictionary. Okay? Now, coming back to the text. In her short life, she had lived in more places than she had whiskers. It is again a way to describe your sentence in a beautiful way. You could have said in a simple format that she had lived in many, many places, right? But since it's a storybook and it's been written by an accomplished author, he is going to use beautiful words. And you have to, exaggerate. You have to exaggerate your story. Now, Shamoil, Ayantika, and Anay, as well as Kian, you will have to tell me which figure of speech points out as exaggeration.
Onomatopoeia, I think.
No, that sound.
Hyperbole.
Who was that?
Anna.
Anay, hyperbole. That's exactly exaggeration. Okay? When you exaggerate, that style of writing becomes an hyperbole. Everybody is aware of hyperbole. If not, watch out the spelling.
No, ma'am.
Now see. So it's okay now. And Kridan, it's okay. Don't get disheartened. We are learning. Every day we learn new things. So next class, you should be able to answer. Now, hyperbole, I'm so sorry. Hyperbole is a very funny term. I'm sure Anahita's mom can associate with that. We even have this term in maths that is hyperbole. Okay? Okay? In coordinate geometry, if I'm not right or wrong, okay? But here we are going to say it as hyperbole, which is a figurative language in English, which means when you over-exaggerate your statements. Now her latest home. Now we are coming back to Mona and where she's residing. Now her current home is an old hollow stump. Now children,
I can't see the screen.
You can't see my screen? Sorry.
Yes.
Nobody can see.
Yeah. Share screen. Okay. Okay, now can you
How do we spell hyperbole?
same spelling of maths, hyperbole.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah. Now I have written it down at the bottom. Okay. So coming back to Mona and her current residence. Okay. Where she is residing currently. Now, there's another way of having a look at this particular word. I want someone.
I have a doubt.
Yes, I am going to answer your doubt after we finish this chapter. Now, Netik. Netik, my question to you is an old hollow stump. Find out the noun here. Children, this is very important, okay? So please stay attentive. What's the noun over here, Netik?
Stump.
How do you know that it is stump? Okay. Okay, I'm going to definitely take that question again from you. And what would be the adjectives over here?
Adjective. Hollow and old.
My question is, यहाँ पर तो comma भी नहीं है. Old comma hollow होना चाहिए था. Right? They have used it as an adjective phrase. An old hollow stump. Old is also adjective, hollow is also adjective, and stump is a noun. But if we look it as together, it's going to be an adjective phrase. Okay? Now we have senior kids over here. They can always correct me if I go wrong. So do you agree this is an adjective phrase?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And now her latest home is an old hollow stump. अब मुझे नहीं पता stump क्या हो सकता है. Stump can be a hollow place under the earth somewhere, you know, or because now I can associate with stump as wicket, and when the cricketers have to actually install the wicket in the ground, we call it as stump, right? But they have to dig the surface of earth. So that's how I am associating the word, even though I don't know the meaning. You know, you have to link it from something or the other. It was being.
Ma'am, it can be like stumps are not hollow, but they are like cylindrical, so we can associate with it cricket stump.
No. Yes, Anay, कुछ बोल रहे थे Anay? नहीं, okay. And now our latest home. Who was ma'am? Who is saying ma'am?
I'm Sumaira. I was saying
Yes.
I listened that stump is a type of like trees log.
Trees nerve end.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for sharing that because I did not know the meaning. We will definitely Google it up. And now her latest home, an old hollow stump, was being flooded out by the storm. Now, as per Samaira, let me draw it out to you. Now, this is a tree, okay, here. It's a big tree as we have seen in the cover page of the story. Yes, children? This is a big tree. And now we have all the roots also coming outside on the surface of earth. Have you ever seen banyan tree? You can see the roots even on the top of the soil. So these, yeah, mangroves, aerial
Mangroves.
mangroves, aerial roots.
They are
That's
breathing
different.
roots.
They are yes. Now see, this is the wood that we are talking about. This is the tree that we are talking about. And ये जो space है ना यहाँ पर, that would be stump. Am I right, Samaira? The nerve endings of the tree. So the roots look like it's the nerves of human body. Okay. Now it has been flooded out by the storm. Now they're describing it even more. When she had found the stump in the summer with a mushroom table already in place. You've always heard, children, that when you are writing, you have to be descriptive. So description का ये मतलब है कि before you write, you should draw everything. What I am doing here is while I'm reading the text, I'm drawing. Now see, summer season, you get mushrooms over here.
Ma'am, I did not understood hyperbole.
You did not understand. Did के पास past tense नहीं होगा. Hyperbole होता है when you exaggerate. You exaggerate like you've got 2 sheets of homework as your Diwali vacation. But you're going to say, I've got tons of homework to do. Didn't you exaggerate?
Yes.
Right? So it's hyperbole. Now see, coming back to the text. With a mushroom table, mushroom is always written as a mushroom table because this looks like a table. ये जो ऊपर का shell होता है ना, it's like a table. So next time when you're describing, you can use this word. With a mushroom table already in place and the stream nearby, there may be, since it has been flooded, next to the tree, there would be a river stream or a creek. Getting the description? Getting the description of the setting, children? इस पैराग्राफ में setting का description हो रहा है. And when we are in the beginning of a story, setting and character description happens. We are aware of this? Yes. And it seemed too good to be true. What does it mean? Too good to be true का क्या मतलब होता है? Children, what does it mean? Too good to be true. Shamoil is there?
Yes, ma'am.
What does it mean, too good to be true?
It is too nice to be real. Like it's
It
too
cannot
good.
so good that
Cannot
it
be
cannot.
real.
Yes, it's so good that it cannot be real. And what cannot be real, children, if we dig deep in the paragraph here, that lastly, Mona has found a beautiful place to live that was under the tree next to the stream. And it was so beautiful that it was too good to be true. She's got the best place for her. But then what happened during monsoon season? It was struck by a storm. Okay. Next, why had no other animal claimed for this home? Now Mona knew. Look at these words over here. She watched, perched. Watch matlab dekhna. Perching matlab kya hota hai? Tell me, what does perching mean?
And birds means making noise.
No, sitting hota hai, perch. Children, the birds, they perch on the tree, right? Can anyone Google out? Kian, Google and tell me the meaning of perch. Okay, now we are moving to the next page.
Rest on something.
Yes, it means sitting or resting on something. So she perched
On something.
on the root in the corner as described by Samaira. Can you see? It's been flooded, children. Can you see how the setting looks like in the picture?
Yes.
Shivering and scared. Now she's shivering and she's scared. So when you are scared, you will shiver, and you also shiver when you feel cold. Okay? And both the things are possible in the text right now. Why am I describing so much, children? When you read, you have to think so much in depth. Just don't read for the sake of reading. Involve yourself thoroughly in the text. As the water rushed in, swirling around her bed made of moss, lapping at her table, threatening to wash away her suitcase. It was a heavy flood. The suitcase was all she had left of her family. Okay, it was the only thing that she has had as a memory. It was made from a small walnut shell. Now, when you are doing creative writing, children, it is up to you कि आप क्या describe करना चाह रहे हो. You can even describe a small object that you're too fond of. So here, Mona the mouse is fond of her suitcase. Yes? And so she is describing it. The suitcase was all she had left of her family. It was made from a small walnut shell and had a tiny heart carved on the front. Mona reached for it now. The whole paragraph has been written in which tense, children?
Ma'am, past.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Ma'am,
We have
because every word contains.
We have to identify the verb in any sentence and then we'll have to see कि वो कौन से tense में है. That's the simplest way to do that. Time to move again. She thought with a heavy sigh, with a heavy heart. As holding the handle tightly, she waded out of the stump and into the storm. My next question is wading. Do you know a bird or an animal or any creature who wades? Which
Yes.
creature?
Duck.
Yes,
And
yes,
flamingos.
yes. Birds like ducks, flamingos, they wade because their feet has been designed this way. Let me draw it to you. We are doing a little bit of science also, I think so. Now, if this is one of
Ma'am, wade means kicking our legs, and flamingos and ducks wade because the structures like this, which makes them special for swim and living
swimming
in
in the,
water.
yes. So if
Water.
we are swimming, we will also say that instead of walking in the water, we'll say wading because it's very difficult for humans to walk in water, right? So we're going to say as if we become a bird and we are wading out. Look at the feet. Look
Sea
at one of
lion.
the feet. Look
Sea
at this foot,
lion.
children. Look here. So if suppose this would be the four toes, you have a flesh like this attached all around. And this is how the feet of water animals are designed. Water birds. What do you call it? Birds who stay in water. Okay? Even frogs के ऐसे ही होते हैं
Aquatic
limbs.
birds.
Frogs के भी ऐसे ही होते हैं. And if you see alligators, crocodiles, you will definitely see that all the toes are joined by a flesh like this because, you know, if you guys swim, it's all. Can you see my screen, children? Can you see me in one of the screens here?
No, ma'am, your video is coming paused. Video is
No.
coming paused.
No, you can see here now. Yeah. Now see, when we swim, if we swim like this, with all our fingers separated, it's going to be very difficult for us to swim. That's why our swimming coach, they say that lock your fingers and now try to swim. So it just helps you to speeden up. Shamal, you want to say something? Hand
Sorry,
raise.
ma'am, I raised my hand by mistake.
Okay, no problem. Now we are moving on to the next chapter, but we will just stop right now because we have to do other things also. So this was all about fiction writing. Anvika, I'll take the doubt later, okay? Now this was about fiction reading. Now we have to do our vocabulary words. Now dormant was something that we did in the last class. Dormant means inactive. And how are we going to remember it? That the dog became the doormat and the dog was inactive, he was not moving. So this particular style of learning words is known as mnemonic. आपको याद करना है, अब आपके ऊपर है आप कैसे याद करोगे, ठीक है? Mnemonics. Mnemonics are very useful, children, to learn things, okay? So dormant is the first word that we read yesterday in the last class, which means inactive. Boys, boys. Now how this book has been designed so that we can remember the word. Boys, boys, Fido may be dormant, but he's not a doormat. That's a joke. Bears hibernate in caves and remain dormant throughout the winter. They are inactive. So instead of saying inactive, children, please use this word that is dormant. Quickly type it in the chat box so that it registers in your mind right now. Type it in the chat box. Dormant. And next time, if you see your friend being lazy, you can definitely say that, why are you acting dormant? Okay? Inactive. Generally, when we are not feeling okay, we go in a hibernation mode, we become dormant.
Avni
Okay?
aunty,
Yes, Ekam?
I was saying that sea lion also wades. Sea lion.
What?
Sea lion
Sea
also.
lion wades. Yes. Any creature who swims would be wading. Okay? Now, the next word is martial. You know, marshal is actually a synonym for policeman. Okay. Now let's have a look at this word. Sabse pehle, the most important thing that you should be looking for when you come across a new word is which part of speech it is. And marshal is definitely a synonym for policeman. And we know that policeman would be noun. So marshal is a noun. Okay. Generally, during the days of cowboys, we used to have marshals. Okay. And even in United States of America, till date, a lot of people, they call the policeman as marshal. Okay. To assemble together for the purpose of doing something, or it also means an officer in the police or military. Now, when you are assembling children, when you use marshal as a verb, then it would mean as if you are coming together for a meeting. Okay. And when you are associating it as a noun, it's going to be like a policeman. Have a look at the word meaning again. Kian, I want you to read the meaning. Marshal.
To assemble together for the purpose of doing something, also
Stop.
an officer.
Stop. Give me the meaning of marshal in the verb form. Now read again.
To assemble together for the purpose of doing something, also an officer in the police or military.
मैंने सिर्फ verb बोला था, okay? And when I say noun, then you'll say an officer in the police or military. Now, have a look at this statement over here. You will always, because I've shared this book, children, with you in the group. You can take a printout. I will not be covering all the words from this book, but I'm teaching you how to self-learn from this book.
Ma'am, see.
Yeah, very good. That's good. So you will have a word, then you will have a part of speech, then you will have a word meaning, then you will have a statement which is little funny, and then you will have a couple of examples where they have used the word in a sentence. Now see, my question here will go to Netik. Netik, unmute. The marshal marshaled a pause to capture the wacko kid. Okay. Now, सबसे पहले I see that this particular statement has been altered because marshaled आ गया. MM is there, right? Yes. Okay. Now, the first marshal is a noun and the second marshal is a verb because we have ed. So the marshal has assembled to capture the wacko kid. All right. This is just a way to remember the meaning of marshal, but now that we have spoken so much about it, I'm sure you will remember it for good. Remembering for good means you will remember it forever. Next, marshalling their forces, the British defeated Rommel at El Alamein. Now here marshalling is a verb because it's ending with an ing also.
Ma'am, like gathering their forces, the British defeated Rommel and Ian Mallon.
Yes. Next, I want Anay to read the second sentence.
The US.
Yes.
The US Marshal apprehended the suspect at the airport and took him into custody.
Now, which form of word it is? Which part of speech is marshal over here?
Noun.
Ma'am, it's a noun.
Yes.
It's a noun.
Yes. And what does apprehend mean? What does apprehend mean?
To search.
It's quite close to what the meaning means. So yeah, I can definitely get it. Anything else? If I say that apprehend is close to comprehend.
Expect.
Apprehend is close to comprehend. And what does comprehend mean?
Summarize.
Figuring out.
Comprehend means, understanding things. Isn't it? Reading comprehension ka passage.
Apprehended means understanding or perceive.
Which means that you have definitely Googled out. Yeah?
No, I didn't know the meaning. Correct someone.
Okay, no problem.
In third standard, in my English textbook, the word apprehended was there. That's why.
So you remember it. Very good. Fantastic, Ekam. Next word. The defense team marshaled its arguments before presenting them to the jury. Now, here it's again verb form. Okay? And got it, children? Let's see which is the next word. Lament. Do you know what does lament mean? Expressing sorrow or regret. When you are extremely unhappy, you lament over something. You can lament over a lost puppy. Yeah. And lamenting is verb form. Now see how they have helped a child. Now this book, how it's going to help a child to remember it. Okay. So they've made this picture of a cemetery. And now we lament joy. God, yes, Samira.
Ma'am, my mother, in my English book in my school, there was a literature book. In that, I remember the laments meaning it was written that complaining.
Okay. Lament. But generally, it can definitely be as complaining, because when you are upset, you complain. Okay. So so suppose your dog is lost. Won't you go to your mom and you will complain that your dog is lost? Or what are you going to do? You're going to say, Mama, my dog is lost, but you are expressing deep sorrow. You're feeling sorry for your lost dog, right? So instead of complaining, which becomes very specific, that you're complaining. Will you ever complain about your little sister, Samira? Mama, or you are going to complain, or you're going to lament? Now, it's a very two different meanings, and you have to use it wisely. Tell me.
Ma'am, I'm going to complain.
You are not going to lament, right? But then you will lament over a broken toy, which Shania broke. Correct? Did you understand the difference? Master V, neend aa rahi hai?
No, ma'am.
Everybody write down the spelling of Marshall and lament in the chat box. Okay. Now I'm taking another important thing.
Ma'am, I typed double L by mistake.
Okay, you can correct it, okay? Scholastic. It's not coming here.
Mama, are these words from the same book that you?
Yes, yes.
That
I've
is.
just shortlisted couple of words, but the entire word list is present in the same book that I have shared. Okay. Now I'm sharing another, children. That was one way to remember the words. Okay. There would be other. There's just not one way to enrich your vocabulary. There are multiple ways that you can enhance your vocabulary. So one is through vocabulary cartoons, that is through the method that is known as mnemonics. The other way is for morphemic awareness. And this is the third way. Okay, this is the book cover page. And I'll just show you just one page from this book. Let's give some time. Okay, now till the time this opens up, can we quickly revise suffix, prefix, children? Suffix, prefix. base word, suffix, prefix, and base word. Do you remember them?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Like suffix is something that applies after the word, like and
Okay.
base word is the word that is mainly like I'll just ma'am, like beautiful. So like beauty is the base word and then it's added with a suffix beautiful. So full is a suffix and beauty is the base
Play a
word.
game. Let's play a game over here that we have this word that is script. Okay? What does script mean? Script का क्या मतलब होता है?
Ma'am, script means like something that you have written.
Yes, script means to write. You all are aware of scripts, children. If you have performed any of the dramas in the school,
Yeah,
they give
ma'am,
you a
please
Yes,
give me
ma'am.
a script that you have to learn.
yeah, so that's a written text. Okay. Now now
You
listen. Now
have to
listen,
learn the
children. Yeah. Now, if I tell you that script has been derived from the Latin word, script is a Latin word. It's not English word. Okay. So there are a lot of words. Like if you know the meaning of script, which means to write, Anahita, then we will also know the meaning of in scriptures, scripted. Okay. We will know the meaning of description. Okay. Then we will know the meaning of subscript, postscript, and so on, with just one word, that is script. And that is why morphemic awareness is essential. Okay, morphemic awareness is imperative. This is a new word that I have learned and I'm using it regularly so that I remember it. Imperative matlab very important, to not to be ignored. ठीक है? Master V, I have to definitely get your attention back to my class. So you have to
Ma'am, it was looking like you wrote imperative.
imperative. Okay, Master V. Master V, let's start with this game. Everybody is going to get a chance. Okay. There, I'm just writing it again. We are doing script, which is the root word, which is the base word. Okay? Base word or root word. Now we will be adding couple of suffixes and prefixes. Okay? It's going to be quite an interesting class.
Okay, ma'am.
So suffixes can be ed,
And
if.
your word looks like what?
Huh?
Your word looks like what?
Word. My handwriting is poor. I told you. It's really. If you can read my handwriting, it's going to be legible. If you can't read my
Ma'am, I
handwriting,
can read.
it's going to be illegible. So now, as per you,
Ma'am,
you
my
can.
handwriting is also
Okay.
like this.
Type in the chat box. How do you consider my handwriting? A legible text, and write the whole phrase, okay? Or an illegible text. Quickly in the chat box.
Ma'am, I think it's both.
If something is both, we say ambi. Ambi is a prefix which means both. So let's discuss more of it. A person is ambidextrous. Okay. Now,
Ma'am, this meaning I know. It means that a person who can use
both
his left
hands.
and right hand
very good.
properly.
Very
Who
good
can
to
write
both.
with both hands?
That's ambidextrous, right? Now, if a person writes with a left hand, तुमको पता है उसको क्या बोलते हैं बच्चे?
Ma'am, lefty or left-handed?
No, look at the word that I've written. Anaita, read out the word in the rectangle.
Ma'am,
Sinister.
sinister.
You know why sinister? Now, there is a logic behind it. Sabse pehle, if you have a look at sinister, it has a hidden word sin. And sin, now listen children, sin is a negative word. Sin is a negative word, right or wrong?
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
Google करके check कर लो मैम ने correct बताया क्या? Okay, let's add a bit of humor to our class. Sinister is a person who writes from left hand. Sinister also means that you are doing something bad. Okay? Now, getting back to ambivalent.
I write with left hand.
Huh?
Ma'am, I write with left hand.
I have a lot of lefties in my class. Lefties, raise your hand. Ayantika.
I am an ambidextrous.
Yes, you know what? Ekam, children, Ekam is ambidextrous and it's a fact. She is an ambidextrous girl.
Because when I was a 3-year-old, I just learned to write with my right hand, and my right hand got fractured. So I wrote with my left hand. So I am writing with both my hands now.
Ma'am, I write with both hands. I can't write with right hand.
I can't write with right hand.
Ma'am, I can only write with right
Okay.
hand.
I am a 9-year-old girl.
I know, but I wanted to make it as an alliteration, okay? Sound it to be allitered. Now see, Ekam is an ambidextrous, adorable 8-year-old girl, okay? I have a lot of same sounds over here, like adorable, ambi, Ekam, and
Ma'am,
A. Long vowel A bhi hai and short vowel A bhi hai before someone points out.
ma'am,
Yes.
so ambidextrous people write like this.
They write like this? No. Some days they will write with their left hand. Okay.
This.
Listen. Have you seen the movie Three Idiots?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. The principal as an ambidextrous. Sorry,
So the professor there, Boman Irani is a character who's played as the professor of that university, Imperial College. Okay. In his class, in order to save his time, Shivansh, पता है वो क्या करते थे? दोनों हाथ से लिखते थे blackboard में. And it's a fact, if you're writing from both hands, you're going to draw like this, but he used to write like this, ulta. It's very, very difficult to do that, which means I'm just going to show you. I have to write cat like this. He's going to write like this. Got it? He's going to write T pehle, fir A, fir C. Getting back to the our main focus here.
Like,
that we
Ma'am,
Now-
you have to ask the question from me.
from you. Yes. Ambivalent. God is now. Do we say ambi or ambi?
Ambi. Ambi.
Okay. Ambi.
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 Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, good. My first question is, since I have written over here, this is the word that we are focusing on. Script is the base word. The first question is to master V. Make another word with the prefix un. And what would be the other word? Script is the root word. You have to add a prefix un to it. What would be the new word? Un. Yes, Aradhya, correct.
Unscript.
Unscript can be a word. Okay. Now, my next question goes to Shivansh. Shivansh, finally. Okay, Shivansh, script may you have to have 2 jobs today. You have to add a prefix in. So what will be the word now?
In script.
Now add a suffix shun to it.
Inscription.
Inscription. Write the spelling in the chat box, children, and match it with my spelling. Inscription. Now, script can be a noun, right?
Yes.
Script is a noun. Agree?
Yes.
Inscription. Shan aa gaya to bhi it becomes a noun. If I say scripted well, then it becomes a verb.
Yes.
Yes. Are you getting interested in my class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Samaira. Next word. Let's take another word because आप लोग का script हो गया है. Let me take another word for today. I'll give 2 words. You have to choose. Do you want to learn the meaning of this word or this word? Tell me. A या B or ambi?
Ma'am, A.
Ambi.
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 Dick.
Ambi.
Okay, ambi कर रहे हैं हम. Okay. Ambi. Dict what? Like, let's guess. What do you understand by ambi, Shivansh? Sorry. Dict. What do you understand by dict?
Ma'am, dictation.
Yes, you're right. And what does the teacher do in dictation?
Ma'am, I know another word.
Wait, type it in the chat box. Shivansh, बताओ dictation में क्या होता है? Someone is saying, right? Someone is narrating.
Dictation teacher tells us to write sentences.
तो dict का मतलब होता है tell or say. Is it easy? I can't see happy faces today because we have decoded. I can see few happy faces,
Ma'am,
smile.
addict.
Addict. Now that's amazing.
Predict.
An addict is a person who is getting, who is addicted to something, right? So here we will have to find.
Ma'am, there is a dictation and to dictate. Like my mother is dictating me the answers.
So mama is telling you, right? So dict is telling, but addict.
No, mother is not telling.
Addict is a very different word, okay? Addict may definitely dict is there, but addict altogether is one word, okay? Now, we are doing dictation. Aradhya can simply type and give me any word, sorry children, any word related to dict. Anyone, like I want everybody to give their own formation of dict word. In the chat box.
I type predict.
Predict. Predict, you mean? Okay. Good.
Ma'am, I can tell another word.
That are designed to help you.
Yeah, to type in the chat box now. Type in the chat box. Now, someone told me predict. Give me a more words here.
Ma'am, I was about to tell predict.
अच्छा, कोई बात नहीं. Dictor. Dictor मुझे पता नहीं है, but मुझे एक word पता है, dictator. Shamoil, please Google up if there is any word as dictor.
No, ma'am, I was typing
Ma'am.
dictator, but I forgot to type.
Everyone give me the spelling of predict, dict. Now I'm going to help you in finding new word. New words, okay, Anahita?
Or
Anahita has to give me a
Excuse me,
word.
ma'am, what are you doing?
Nothing. We're just playing with words. Okay. Anahita, there is this word dict. Okay. You have to add a prefix word.
Dict.
Tell me what will be the new word. Prefix is attached.
Predict.
No, we have to add word to it. Word. And prefix is attached before or after?
Verdict.
Verdict. Verdict.
Do you know the meaning? Otherwise, ask.
What's the meaning of verdict?
I think generally when we are in the court, then the That's something that I have understood. Let's see. Yes, it's judgment. Verdict means judgment. Okay. A decision on an issue, the jury returned a verdict of not guilty. So this is exactly what happens in courtroom, but precisely verdict means judgment. Okay. Now, children, I don't know which part of speech verdict is. Okay, this is my new word, children. Please stay attentive.
Try the AWS free tier to build and host your web and mobile apps.
Who is doing that?
Wide range of host.
Okay. Naisha, the smile says it was you. Okay, no, it was not Naisha. Naisha, now listen. Verdict means judgment. And we know that any word that is ending has a suffix of ment is which part of speech?
Ma'am, noun.
Noun. So verdict is also a noun. Got it? Okay. Next. Add suffix s to verdict. What will be the new word?
Verdict.
Yes, exactly. Now, listen. Change the prefix in verdict to contra. What will be the new word?
Contradict. Contradict.
What does contradict mean? What does contradict mean?
Opposite.
Yes, opposite. You sometimes say that, Mama, why are you contradicting your own statement? First you said don't go out, now you're saying go out. A lot of times mothers, they contradict. Okay? Done, children? Okay. So this was morphemic awareness. So in our classes, we're going to play games on morphemic awareness. And let me brief it up. Till now, we know script. In your notebook, write down the meaning of script. We know dict. Photo is still left. I'll just tell you the meaning of photo. Dict means to say or tell. Photo is what? Tell me.
Ma'am, photo is a photograph.
Photo is a picture. Photo is a photograph, you can't say. What you have done, you've added a suffix graph to photo. Photo is a picture. And sometimes photo also means light.
Yes, ma'am. Like in
Ma'am, like photosynthesis.
photosynthesis.
Exactly. Now do you see how powerful,
ma'am.
children, don't you think morphemic awareness is such a powerful tool to enrich our vocabulary? Agree, disagree?
Agree.
Naitik, are you finding the class interesting?
Yes, ma'am.
We just have to listen in the class. Nothing more than that. Okay. So photosynthesis, again, something related to light, because photo means a picture or a light. Now, do you know what does graph mean?
A graph paper.
Graph means to write. See?
Ma'am, I guess graph also means like what is a graph of a profit? So like graph is something like a down up, and
Now
line.
listen, graph means to write. We know what is an autograph. We know what is a biography. Biography. Autography nahi hota hai, but it becomes autobiography. Okay, so graph means to write. Auto means when you are writing your own story. It becomes autobiography. Biography means when someone else is writing your story. So when the last non-fiction text that we had discussed, children, that story was an autobiography. How did we know that?
Ma'am, because the title of the story was My Story.
Yeah, and James Clear is the author of that book. Okay, and he's describing and he's writing everything in first person. Autobiography ke rules hote hain. It's written in first person. Okay, got it? Now if I say photograph, you have something in your hand. Photograph आपके हाथ में आता है ना? Photographs आपके हाथ में आते हैं ना? Passport size photograph or a big photograph. So photograph is a picture in a written form. If you continuous nod, it doesn't mean that you are paying attention. Okay. Let's have another word over here. Okay. Ayantika, add the suffix ik to photograph. What will be the new word?
Photographic.
Photographic.
Naisha, replace the suffix ik in photographic and give me another word. That is, you have to add a suffix. Replace the suffix ik in photographic. Okay. Add the new suffix ar and give me the new word. Good one, Aradhya. Naisha, attention.
Photographer. Photographer.
Okay. Photographer. Do you know what does this word mean? Phobic.
No, ma'am.
Phobic means fear.
Fear.
Phobia. Fear. Now I want you to make a word starting with photo and phobia. It should have both. Make a word and tell me. Photophobic.
Phobia.
So this person may be having fear of getting clicked. Fear of...
Ma'am, I have.
You have fear of getting clicked? Or
Yes,
you're just shy, Master V?
Ma'am, I don't like to get photos clicked.
Okay, no problem. The class is almost done. Okay? I'm showing you the content page of this book that we want to read. Okay, this is another way of enhancing your vocabulary.
Ma'am, this is the...
Yes,
Ma'am,
it
I
is.
know this book.
Yes.
I
Now
have
have a
Ma'am, cynophobia.
Huh?
Cynophobia.
Write the spelling.
CynophobiA.
What is this fear about?
This book. It is a lot of fear from dogs.
Oh.
A lot
And,
fear.
you
Like
know
I am very scared of dogs means I am xenophobic of dogs.
Xenophobic
And
of
that's
dogs.
the fact that I am xenophobic to dogs.
And there is a disease.
I'll tell you something, children. Don't say xenophobic for dogs because cyno may already dog is there, right? So I have a cynophobia, you will say. Or you can say phobic for dogs. You cannot say xenophobic for dogs. You're repeating. Did you get my
book? Yes.
No, that's a different book. Now listen, I have a fear of lizard. And you know what is a fear of lizard as? Herpetophobia. Okay. Coming back to this page and we're going to end the class. When you have, now this is exactly in the form of dictionary. How are you going to use your dictionary? If you want to enrich your vocabulary. The first word is abolish. Next to any word, you will have the pronunciation. And then next to that, you're going to have quiet Master V. Master V.
Ma'am, I am not saying anything.
Who is saying?
Advantage. Ma'am, it is
Ekam.
Ekam. This is not a music class. Okay. Abolish. Next to
Ma'am,
abolish.
I was trying to finish the rhyme.
Okay, listen. Please focus. Abolish. You can see my screen. So this is my screen. Abolish is a verb, which means to put an end to something. You can also create, you can change the verb and make it into a noun by adding a shun to it, abolition. But abolition or abolish means to put an end to something. Next word is abrupt. Abruptly, the class was ended abruptly because maybe the internet was, we had a poor internet connection, or the laptop
Yes.
ran out of battery. The laptop ran out of battery. Okay? Now, I had asked you, now coming to the final part is the writing part. I had asked you to write a summary of the non-fiction text. How many of you have written? Raise your hand. The homework. No one? These questions would
Ma'am, what
help.
is the homework?
Homework was that the passage that we had read in the last class, you have to write a short summary. How are we going to write the summary? Now we have to have a couple of writing prompts. With the help of these questions, children, you are yourself going to come up with a lot of data. Like, who is the narrator? I'm sure you know who is the narrator. Tell more about the narrator. Okay?
I thought that we have to write like in short, what did you understand in this?
I'll just tell
Ma'am,
you.
in the
Talk
last
about-
class we read a
talk ab-
fiction story or a non-fiction story?
Non-fiction story tha wo, because it's a real story, na, autobiography thi wo. Okay. Talk about his family, any problem that he had, any problem that he had. Okay. What is your opinion on how did it make you feel? Okay. Now, when you're writing, now since it's a non-fiction paragraph writing, children, okay? It's a non-fiction paragraph writing, so you will be beginning your passage. I'm going to share this question again, but try to understand how will you be writing this. Immediately after the class ends, I want you to finish the piece and send it to me so that I can check your work. Okay. So whenever you're talking about one particular question, say you're talking about these three, it's related to the narrator. It's going to be in one paragraph. With one idea talks in, like, as soon as the idea changes, the paragraph changes. Okay. So here I'm talking everything in the first paragraph. I'm talking everything about the author ya narrator. In the second paragraph, I'm going to talk about his challenges. In the last paragraph, I'm going to say, how do I feel? Okay. And that's how my summary is going to end. Now, this structure is very important for younger children because we don't know what to write. I'm going to brief you again. Take a screenshot. I'm going to share it in the group also. Okay. So
Ma'am,
write.
can you scroll down a little?
Yes, I will. Now see, writing prompt is essential for budding writers because we don't know what to write. But if I keep on asking questions from you, I'm sure you will be able to give me answers, right? So if mama is not there, children, you can make your own questions and then you can start answering. And if the questions are all, related to one topic, you can put them in one paragraph. But if it is different topics, then you can change the paragraph. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
Now, this is
Excuse
the
me,
next.
ma'am.
Yes, Shamoil.
I have to go somewhere. Right?
Okay, Shamoil, the class is also finished, so you can leave the meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
Bye. So this is how are you going to structure your paragraph? The first paragraph, you're talking everything about the author. In the second, you're talking about the challenges he faced. And in the third paragraph, you can put your point. Or you can predict what's going to happen next since it's an incomplete passage. Okay? Predict. Dekho, predict is here. Predict what will happen next. So that's all about the class today. I hope you enjoyed and you even learned. Okay? And how am I